everyone, and welcome to the Rapid Growth Vibe from the 10th to the 16th of May. This week, be ready for change. Now, I know when you hear the word change, we sometimes have a little bit of like a shudder running through us, because that's normally because we don't have positive associations with change. Maybe a lot of bad things happen during moments and times in your life where you did change, or things around you changed and it wasn't pleasant. Normally, of course, as you know, it's not pleasant because things change that we perhaps have an emotional attachment to. We have some kind of value that we add to this change. And it is this value that we added to the change. It's that little piece of information and that emotional connection that is what becomes defragmented. And that is what causes the discomfort, because that familiarity is not there anymore. I know we're creatures of habit. I get it. I'm the same. So change can sometimes also be a little bit scary. It might be because, as I said, there's trauma associated with that. Now, just because you did have trauma associated with change in the past, it doesn't always mean that the next experience is going to be the same. And the vibes this week is actually asking you, it's showing you that yes, change can come in, but your mindset and your attitude around this change is what's going to determine your outcome of that. It's going to set the foundation of whether it's going to be positive or whether it's going to be negative. Now, before we go a little bit more into that, because this vibe's coming in where it's saying change, and then it's great time for community support. It's great time for you now to step up and show your talents to the world. So there's quite a few your waves coming in here where the vibes are actually, I feel like they're jumping in between. It's like being a bit in a tumble dryer or in a washing machine, and you just kind of like, you just have to go with the rhythm and the flow, and it's washing and it's washing, everything's all over the place basically. And so we're just going to have to write this out. And the best way to do that is to know and to recognize what you feel when certain things take place, and to know this is what's happening. This is how I can counterbalance that. This is how I can feel about it. And this is how I can change my mindset about that. Because this is a great week for planning. This is a great week for creating things that you want, to do projects, to work together with people, to set planning sessions. It's a great time. And we also have a new moon this week as well, guys. So if you love the new moons, then join us also on the new moon healing meditation. That's normally on my YouTube channel, or you can find it also on the Metaphysical Anatomy fan page in Facebook. Because this week also is the change also has a lot to do with values. And values are what defines you. That is who you are. It's your belief systems and it's your values. And this week, the vibes of this week it's going to ask you to question that in a good way. It's going to ask you to look at what is practical. What is really practical about my values? Meaning, how practical and realistic is it to practice these values in my life? And how many are aspirations that you want to aspire to sometime? How much energy are you investing on something that could be, on something that you would like to be a certain way, rather than what actually is right now? Sometimes we dissociate and we numb ourselves by becoming stuck with how we would like things to be. And we kind of like become stuck in a duality, as I would call it, where you fantasize, you want things to feel a certain way, you feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled and what that would be and look like. But then your reality does not reflect that. And then we sometimes try to just wing it. We try to kind of just make it through our reality and stay connected to this part of us that we think, if we heal one day, then we'll feel that. If I do X, Y, Z, then I will finally be able to get that. So there's always an action removed between you and where you want to be. Now, these vibes are calling you on that. It's calling you on this pattern where you have this removed step, and it's asking you, what do you need to change? What do you need to do? Maybe it is an actual action. Maybe it's a decision that you have to make. Maybe it's old habits. that you need to just drop finally, because they're not serving you. Because sometimes we hold on to certain beliefs and values because it makes us feel safe, because there's some kind of conscious or subconscious benefit from that, or it allows us to be connected to a certain group, to a certain person, to a certain identity that we might try to identify with for the sake of fitting in. But if you find yourself in any of these explanations, then I don't have to tell you how emotionally uncomfortable your life probably is right now because of that. And the reason why is because you are moving further and further away from who you really truly are. The more pain you're in, the more your true identity and your authentic self is telling you, where are you? Where are we at with each other? Because I don't feel connected to you. I don't feel like who I am is being embraced and birthed properly into this plane, into this lifetime. And that pain is calling you to action. It's telling you it's time for you to start to become more authentic. It's time for you to just embrace who you are. If you're struggling with anxiety, if you're struggling with depression, that's exactly what it's trying to show you this week, especially if you feel it's hitting a peak, guys. It's really super important. And if that's you, I highly recommend and I invite you to please join me also next week for my Mastering Depression workshop. It is an intense, beautiful, transformational, healing experience. And you will walk away from that workshop a completely new and transformed person. So if this is something that you are challenged with or do feel that's a big problem for you, I invite you to join me. Our last participants reached milestones in 2 days. Things that they would not have accomplished probably in a few months or even a few years, because that technique is designed for absolute success. So guys, just remember, once again, big changes might be coming this week. I invite you to be okay with that. Really allow yourself to embrace the change. Sometimes the change is not as bad as what we think it could be, because ultimately at the end of the day, it is your mindset that is going to make or break your experience. And I know that the more mindful you are, the more of a success you can make it. So guys, until the new moon, I hope to see you there. Be the light that you are.
Hi guys, thank you for joining me, and remember to grab your copy of Metaphysical Anatomy on Amazon, 679 medical ailments. And I also wrote about the psychosomatic root causes of that, and I'm spoiling you because I even added key points for you to start looking at important questions that you can ask yourself to start improving your quality of life. And also remember to catch me on Instagram, Evette Rose, 1 with the digit 1, and Metaphysical Anatomy on our Facebook fan page. Bye guys!